Welcome to ISTE Day 5.
Hafa ISTE?
Hafa ISTE? Hafa ISTE? Hafa ISTE?
So don't worry, you don't have to take photos of the slideshow. If you want to, that's fine too. I know that's sort of, I remember things, I now snap pictures of everything. So I just want to start off by saying that the big idea of this talk is that it's not just about making things better for girls. This is a quote from the American Association of University Women. When our schools become more gender fair, education will improve for all of our students, boys as well as girls, because excellence in education cannot be achieved without equity in education. I truly believe that. I think by focusing on particular kinds of kids, girls, boys, artists, programmers, kids who are quiet, introverts, extroverts, by focusing on different aspects of personality and skills and strengths, we can learn more about how to personalize learning for every student. And resources for worldwide information on girls and technology. And some of these I've collected at silvermartinez.com/STEM-girls. But again, I will be sending out this slideshow as well. And I just found out yesterday that a piece I wrote for Intel Australia has finally made it onto the web. So that's a short link I made that you can find. It's a bit.ly link, Intel Girls in Tech. It's a 6-page, really pretty handout that you can
I know we're all rushing all around, but I hope everybody can take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Okay. I want you to picture the students who struggle. Because we have to remember it's easy to get excited about the drones and all this stuff. But it's really about the students. And it's especially about the kids who struggle. And we know, those of us who teach, know that we don't quit until we find something that reaches the kids. And for me, when I started making in the classroom, whether it was the boys who tested the Mentos experiment with the Coca-Cola, or shot video from drones, or whatever it was, it's unleashed things that I couldn't have imagined. When I embraced this, when I read Sylvia's book, and which is a fantastic one, and when I really started learning how to make. So we have an incredible panel. I'm going to give you just a very brief introduction to each person. I'm going to let them wave at you when I introduce them and let you know about them. So we have David Jakes. He works with schools on teaching, learning, technology, leadership, and space design. He's been working with many schools on creating new and renovated spaces to help them craft digital designs for learning. I love his learning space playbook. I had him on my show, Every Classroom Matters, not too long ago. I was completely blown away by what he's doing with space design. So let's give it up for David Jakes. I'm going in alphabetical order on the slide, so that's kind of the order here. We've got Erin Klein. She's a second grade teacher with an expertise in classroom design. She is a former interior design major from Michigan State University, and she's been able to take her knowledge from design studies and apply them to the aesthetics of developing, and this is important, a brain-friendly space. So brain-friendly class design is her expertise. for her learners. Let's give it up for Erin Klein. We have Karen Learden. She's an ISTE award-winning K-3 blended learning STEAM teacher. Her students blog, tweet, video conference, and of course, they make. Let's give it up for Karen Learden. Sylvia Martinez is co-author of Inventor. Let's give it up for the book. A lot of people call it the Bible of the Classroom Maker Movement. The subtitle is Making, Tinkering, and Engineering in the Classroom. She's an expert that many of us look to on design thinking because we as teachers, we do want to use what works. And the thing that I like about Sylvia is she makes the research understandable for an everyday classroom teacher, very practical, and I love that, and I appreciate all that you do, Sylvia. Let's give it up for Sylvia. Jolie Barker could not be with us due to an unfortunate thing with a student. We miss her greatly. But Dr. Jackie Gerstein is incredible, and she had such a great attitude. She decided that she would be willing to join us and did so much work to be here. Her background is a strong focus in experiential and adventure learning. Adventure learning is really, really cool, which she brings to her online teaching of master students in educational technology. Let's give it up for Dr. Jackie Gerstein. We have two back channel moderators today. We have Lisa Dabbs.
There's kind of a tendency to overlap our terms. Like you hear people say we're going to do makerspace. But really I see that there's four distinct elements that work together. Place, culture, process, and the underlying belief about teaching and learning. Now, there's a blog post on my blog, sylviamartinez.com, that explains all how these work together. So place is obviously where we...
Yeah. So I've always been a maker in the classroom. How many of you have been makers in the classroom all along? What's really cool though is that now we're getting some legitimacy to this. So I call this the perfect storm for maker education, and you can see there's a lot of things converging to make it so that it's legitimizing maker education in the classroom. You can see everything online. I was just at a workshop and a kid said, "How did you learn Minecraft? How did he learn Minecraft?"
Just do it.
YouTube. It's all there. It's do it yourself movement. We have STEM and STEAM going on in the classroom. Affordable technologies. I mean things like mini computers for $10 and makey-makeys and little bits and even LEDs and copper tape and open source platforms. How many of you know Thingiverse? If you don't know it, look it up. People are putting up their designs and just saying use it for 3D printers, and then they're downloading and making their own and putting it back up. And that's part of what we're crowdsourcing and participatory culture behind. But I come from a background in experiential education, and there's actually an association for experiential education. Did you all know that? You didn't look them up. They're pretty cool. Oh, you know about that. They're pretty cool. And so I looked at their principles, and they match those of Maker Ed. So you see things like learners are engaged intellectually, emotionally, socially, physically. Learners take the initiative to make decisions. Learners may experience failure, adventure, risk-taking, and uncertainty. And all these should be principles that apply to Maker education too, which I would love to see the carryover between the two. And then finally, sometimes you go into schools and people say, Maker education, I don't think so. I don't want kids just playing in my classroom. So to legitimize it, I have this thing there's this thing called STEAM and STEM, and we know that that's gaining popularity. And this is actually a thing link. You all familiar with it? Mm-hmm. And it's filled with a lot of resources so that if you need to legitimize your STEAM or Maker Ed programs, you can go and you can click on this.
It's the keynote address for the closing of the day. We're so excited. We hope that it'll be just as invigorating and as entertaining as the opening keynote.
Let's go fundraise. Oh, the music's on now.
Special access.
Texas. Woo! Thank you.
All my exes live in the album.
Texas. I need two.
Save the date for ISTE San Antonio 2017. Almost there. June 25th.
How far?
Does she have a loud eating?
Well, you have. It wasn't exactly in the master plan, but that's how life is. And Ward knows, Keisha knows how grateful I am to be a part of this community and how much the last 4 years have meant to me. She knows how I feel about her, and I am grateful to you continually to our board.
I'm excited to share what I've learned these past days. This organization is truly near and dear to my heart because of all of you and the growth of friendships that we have together. And the ISTE community really is 24/7, so get involved.
We need to show up to our place in education, the classroom, the school, the district, the organization, the company, where we can make our greatest contribution, and we need to show up to that place and refuse to leave. And there is no better time or moment than right now, as we're winding down this amazing experience, to recommit to that place. There is nowhere I would rather be than with you right now, except maybe one place. I have to tell you that today is a very special day for me because I have the pleasure of speaking to you, my friends. But it is also the last day of school. And at this very moment, don't do that. That will be bad for me. At this very moment, literally, in London, Ontario, Canada, these people are putting on their backpacks and they're going home. But I'm here today because I've shown up to this place for them. I believe that education has this tremendous power to teach us about who we are and about our place in the world. And I want to do that for my students, and you know that you do too. And I have a hero that has inspired me on this journey to do just that, to take students beyond the walls of the classroom, to take chances and make mistakes. And she's also a third grade teacher, just like me. Maybe she's your hero too. Yeah? So you want a magic school bus? Yep. Yes. And in fact, I wanted a magic school bus. On September 10th, 2012, I got my wish, or the next best thing. In 2012, I secured funding for a research project to investigate the integration of iPads in my classroom at 1-to-1, but be careful what you wish for. Because I was the only one, I couldn't go across the hall and be like, hey, what are you doing with your magic school bus? I was a bit of a rogue teacher on my own. So I read some books about how we as humans might step onto the internet and into that space and connect with other humans, and how I might help my students to do that. And so I found Howard Reingold, an elder of the internet, one of the first people to step into the digital space and see its potential for good and for cooperation. And I read his book, NetSmart. And as you do, you write on your blog. So I went directly to my blog and I wrote something quite clever, as you do, or you hope you do, and then I tweeted out. Thanks for writing that smart. Seriously helpful. Your comments would mean the world. And I took this message in a bottle and I cast it out into the ocean of the internet, and I hoped for a response, but I didn't actually think that I would get one. I said something, and it spoke back. No way! Massive thank you, Howard Reingold, for commenting. Notice the date? Pretty good Christmas gift. And moments later, this.
That's how it works, Michelle.
Oh boy, now it was really talking to me. I had made a contribution and I had been acknowledged for that contribution. I had been seen and I had been heard. Everybody gasped. That's how I felt. I wanted that experience for my students. And Howard Reingold has become a mentor of mine. And yes, he's come into my classroom through Connected Learning TV. And he's interviewed my students about what they do. In fact, he would love to come into your classrooms too and make your students feel like they are seen and heard. So I had a grand vision of what I wanted to accomplish with technology. I wanted my students to be seen and heard in the classroom and beyond. But thank you for turning on the house lights. I can see you. I had a problem. I had a grand vision, but I had a today problem, and I had a tomorrow problem. And I came to you. I came to my friends. I came to this community to solve a problem of what I was actually going to do with those iPads on Monday. Because you know, I didn't have anybody that I could turn to in my district. And they were watching me. They were like, she got a really big grant. She better do something cool. And I'm like, I will. So this is my best hack, really, being on this stage. Because when I came to conferences, I only ever wanted to hear from you. I only wanted to be able to sneak in and hear what you had to say. So today I would like to offer you the things that I have learned from ISTE and from the educational community. The first thing I've learned, and you know this, and you live it and breathe it every day, it's about being a connected educator, right? We say this loud and proud all the time, the importance of being online and helping one another out. But I think we can take it further. Now, there's something very special about this community. It's like a diamond to me. It's so precious. And coming to ISTE is like putting on an oxygen mask and breathing in, and you feel like you're with your people. Am I right? Yep. Yes. Your people are here. We can pop that out. What a nice way for you to show appreciation to your other people. But going home can be tough.
He said so. Sad selfie.
Fraser, do you like you're allowed to
Now we have to do
pathetic. The one on the far left is particularly pathetic, and that is my very first ISTE, where I felt like I was Cinderella dancing at the ball, and then bibbidi bobbidi boo, I was back on a plane, ugly crying. Raise your hand if this is your first ISTE. Oh! Don't worry. Those are the photos from other ISTEs, the past 3 in a row. It gets better. There won't be so much ugly crying after this, I promise. But there's something fundamentally special here that doesn't always exist at home. So how do we bring this energy, this feeling of breathing in an oxygen mask home? So I asked Howard Reingold that question. I said, why is it, Howard, that one group of people can do something that another group of similar people cannot? And he said, you should read this book, Connected, by Nicholas Christakis. And Nicholas Christakis says 3 things. Number 1, the shape of the network matters. You see here a bunch of diagrams of differently shaped social networks. Number 2, we shape our networks. And number 3, our networks shape us. So it's an interesting thing, this first point, the shape matters. And in nature, in fact, the shape matters. Let's take 2 different substances. Let's take graphite and diamond. You chemistry teachers in the room, you know this. These are actually made of the same fundamental element, which is carbon. But you see, carbon organized as graphite, the particles are bonded together in sheets, and as you drag your pencil across the page, you shear off a layer of graphite. The properties that emerge from the way that's structured makes that particular graphite dark and soft. But the properties that emerge when carbon is bonded together differently and more tightly here. Yeah. And now you're like, now that I'm up, are you gonna make me hold this? Yes, I am. You can also take this position. And when you're power posing, Amy Cuddy's research shows that two interesting things happen in these poses. That is that your testosterone levels go up. That means that you feel like you're more able to show up. And your testosterone levels not only go up, your cortisol levels go down, and she found this in saliva samples. Keep holding these great poses. And the opposite, don't do it now, but the opposite of a powerful pose is a powerless pose. You hold the power one, but I'll model the powerless pose when we round and then we close off. And you know what happens in these powerless poses is that our cortisol levels go up and we feel more stressed, and our testosterone levels go down. Now there is some controversy in the psychology research world because people have not been able to replicate the saliva samples, but the behavioral effect is strong. People who power pose for 2 minutes are found to be more charismatic in interviews. People who power pose for 2 minutes before an interview also report that they are more able to bring their best self forward. Thank you. You're beautiful. And now you had a good supercharge, right? Yeah. You're feeling ready to show up and refuse.
Money. of ISTE Day 5. What an incredible experience this conference has been. If you want to revitalize yourself as a teacher, if you want to kind of rekindle that spark that you had on your first year of teaching, I really recommend coming to something like this, a conference that really just stretches your thinking about teaching practices and pedagogy and kind of gives you a worldview that's broader than what you have currently. And so ISTE on the last day is everything that I had hoped for. And that last keynote by Michelle really, I was in tears at the end because she just gave me the inspiration to keep going, in this profession. She kind of really pointed out the things that we educators should pay attention to the most. And it's kind of like a call to arms, which is exactly what I needed. Not in regards to not just technology and education, but also in teaching in general. And that the solutions we're looking for in this profession and in this job can be found within us and with the people that we work with or the students that inspire us day to day. So what an incredible experience this year has been. An incredible experience for ISTE on the second year that I've been able to go, and what great things to look forward to in the future, not only in my classroom but in our district here on Guam, and the things that we could share and teach our teachers about technology and about teaching as a whole. So I would like to personally thank my district for sending us. It is an incredible opportunity to fly to a different state and be supported in our endeavor to improve education here on Guam. Thank you so much for believing in your teachers and for helping us to learn more and to be more effective and efficient. And to the Guam team, amazing job. We stuck in there, and we, despite the jet lag and the 13-hour flights and all the things that come with flying to the States in the summer, we were able to get through it. And next year is a bigger year, so we'll see what's in store for next summer if we go to ISTE 2017 in San Antonio, Texas. So this is the end. Hope to see you next year at ISTE 2017. And it stops. Is it here? Is it when you stop by? Oh yeah, how did... There.